Walk into any major anti-government protest around the world today, and you will see this face. The pale skin, the pointed goatee, the frozen, theatrical smile. It has become a universal, secular shorthand for collective resistance. But travel to the UK in early November, and you'll find that same face at the center of a very different scene. Here, it's a localized sensory tradition. Communities gather in the freezing cold to eat sticky takes, light massive bonfires, and watch fireworks explode in the night sky. The man behind that plastic mask would despise both of these modern interpretations. In 1605, he was an extreme religious militant. His goal was to detonate enough explosives to annihilate the entire British government and install a Catholic puppet monarch. Over 4 centuries, the memory of Guy Fawkes has completely detached from its origins. A failed terrorist who was caught in a basement has slowly been rewritten by the public, evolving into one of the most recognizable icons of freedom on the planet. The tension began with the British crown. In the early 17th century, King James I was consolidating his Protestant regime. He imposed heavy fines on the Catholic minority and ordered all Catholic priests banished from the country, pushing radicals to the brink. The mastermind who decided to answer that oppression with violence was a charismatic nobleman named Robert Catesby. He formulated the plan to blow up Parliament. To execute that plan, Catesby recruited this man. Guy Fawkes was a highly skilled military engineer and explosives expert who had been radicalized while fighting for the Spanish in Flanders. Fawkes wasn't the architect of the conspiracy, he was a contracted triggerman. His modern fame is a historical accident, stemming entirely from the fact that he was the one left holding the matches when the authorities arrived. The target was the House of Lords in London, where the king, the royal family, and all of Parliament would gather for the opening session. The conspirators managed to lease a storage cellar directly underneath the legislative chamber. In the dark, Fawkes meticulously stacked at least 36 barrels of gunpowder, hiding them beneath layers of firewood and coal. The plan unraveled when an anonymous warning letter was sent to a Catholic nobleman. This prompted a midnight search of the cellar on November 4th, where guards discovered Fawkes waiting in the dark with fuses in his pocket. Taken to the Tower of London, Fawkes was subjected to the rack until he confessed. To avoid the full, protracted agony of a traitor's execution, he leapt from the scaffold and broke his own neck. Shortly after, Parliament passed the Observance of 5th November Act. This act mandated annual church services to commemorate the king's survival. The origin of the holiday was strict state propaganda, a legally enforced ritual designed to remind the public of the Protestant crown's absolute power. But as decades passed, the public took hold of the ritual. Early celebrations involved burning effigies of the Pope, but by the late 18th century, crowds began burning figures of Guy Fawkes himself, officially turning the night into Guy Fawkes Day. Because the celebrations happen outdoors in the biting November chill, regions developed highly specific, calorie-dense foods to keep people warm. Crowds in Yorkshire bake sticky oat and treacle parkin, while those in Lancashire serve up steaming cups of vinegar-soaked black peas. The most intense evolution of this happens in the town of Lewes. Tens of thousands of people gather, as 17 flaming crosses are carried through the streets to commemorate local Protestant martyrs. And the tradition of burning effigies has shifted from historical memory to modern satire, with bonfire societies routinely torching massive models of contemporary politicians. The British public took a state-mandated day of Thanksgiving and turned it into an excuse for localized chaos, using the fire and the fireworks to release their own anti-establishment energy. The leap from British folk tradition to global icon happened in the 1980s. The graphic novel V for Vendetta stripped away Fawkes's religious motives entirely. The illustrator, David Lloyd, redesigned the face into a clean, smiling mask, creating a visually striking symbol of theatrical anarchism. That fiction bled into reality in 2008. The internet collective Anonymous needed a way to protest the Church of Scientology in public without exposing their identities. They adopted the mask en masse, and it quickly became their official logo. There is a striking irony to its use today. Every time a protester buys one of these plastic masks to fight corporate greed or state power, a royalty fee goes straight to the massive media conglomerate that owns the copyright. Yet the image has transcended its corporate ownership. It operates as an open-source visual language, allowing people to erase their individual identities to project a unified, undeniable presence. This chart shows the annual trend of air pollution in the UK. The massive spike you see every autumn is directly tied to November 5th, when the smoke from thousands of fires and fireworks pushes particulate matter to dangerous levels. Local councils are now facing pressure to abandon the gunpowder altogether. They are pivoting toward eco-friendly drone light shows and silent fireworks, sparking fierce debate over how to preserve the spirit of the night without the environmental cost. The explosives in that London cellar never detonated. The men who planned the attack were executed, and their cause was crushed. But once an idea enters the public imagination, it takes on a life of its own. The evolution of Guy Fawkes shows that society will continuously burn, remix, and rewrite its history to fuel the protests of today.